Hello, good morning. I am wanting to wanting to share wanting to share some of the tea that I drink. I drink tea every morning and I like it a lot. And I want to share it with my friends. I've recently learned, it's not so recent. I recently learned that I am not very good at communicating my interests, and I want to be able to do that at some point. So, that's why I'm streaming. And going to be slowly improving the stream over some time. I also really enjoy it. I like talking. I like to talk about the experiences that I'm having while drinking tea. It's a lot of fun. So today, hopefully, is going to be a short stream. That's the plan, at least. Short as in, I don't know, 40 minutes, something like that. Drinking much faster than I normally drink because I started a little late. I got myself a Puerh tea. Before we get into the tea, all right, I've got like a little minor injury, I think, on my shoulder. Maybe it's not an injury. I don't know what to call it. It hurts when I move my shoulder in certain positions. Sounds like an injury to me, and it's just unpleasant. Just wanted to say it because it's unpleasant. Ooh, recently I watched a movie. I went to see a movie this weekend with my friends. It was called Megalopolis. This is an amazing movie. Amazingly shot, amazingly acted, amazingly scripted. I really enjoyed this movie. And I went on to YouTube, as people do, to see the reviews and see all the praise of this movie. And I think I saw one video of people who enjoyed the movie, and maybe 15 videos that I actually watched of people not enjoying the movie. And I saw many, many more of people definitely not liking the movie, and I didn't watch them. There's a lot of beauty to be had in this world, and I like to see when things are unique and new, uh, in different ways of expressing things and highlighting different arts. In this movie, there was a very long circus sequence. It's very cool. I like circuses. At least I like some of the shows in some circuses, and this movie highlights some of that. I'm already really scattered. You can see why I need to practice the skill of communicating my interests because sometimes I get a little distracted and a little excited. All right, we're gonna be drinking some tea today. I'm gonna be talking about that. I already skipped a couple steps. I didn't really go through all the steps that all of the sensations I have been experiencing so far, but oh, this smells lovely. This smells like it just smells like antique wood. There's a specific wood. It's a specific fragrant wood. It also smells like Twizzlers, like cherry and licorice. It's a very wide smell. It goes far back into the throat, really far up in the sinuses. It's quite comforting. The injured shoulder that I mentioned is this left shoulder, by the way. Um, so a lot of these movements that I'm doing hurt. You can see the color of that, huh? Looks nice. Fantastic. Okay, so I've moved my stream. If you've been following along at all, well, I used to stream, I guess, several years ago, 3 years ago, something like that. And then I more recently started streaming on my phone, and I was not streaming in this room, I was streaming in a different room. And I noticed, and I didn't like that the sound was not very good. I'm already, I think I'm already a little difficult to understand sometimes in terms of my diction is not very clear. And it doesn't help if the microphone sucks, which is what was happening because I was using my phone microphone and nothing else. So I had the idea to return to my old stream setup. This is pretty similar to my old stream setup, except I'm using a table and not my piano bench at the moment. But I'm in the area of my old stream setup. I also have a couch behind me. Some things have changed. So because of that, I have a better microphone, and I figured that would be better, and I wanted to try that out. So that's why I'm here in front of my computer today with a nice microphone. But it also means that a lot of different things have to change. Instead of using my phone, it's very easy to go live to stream on my phone. There's just a single button that I press, and I can go live on lots of different platforms. But I don't have it quite set up on my computer. It's not set up as it used to be. So I don't even know, um, if I'm streaming well to all of the different platforms, but whatever. Trying it out. So I have been streaming to my phone. When I was streaming to my phone, I had no way of looking at the chat or any of the chats that I was streaming to. I still don't really have a way of looking at the chats. I mean, I can kind of just go to the websites and look at the chats from there, but I don't have a combined place that is streamlined for me to look at any chats. So I'm not going to be looking at any chats today, most likely. And I don't really plan on returning to stream in the way that I used to stream. I used to stream looking at I was reacting to spiritual content. That may be the way to put it. Watching a lot of spiritual videos. I really don't watch any of those videos anymore. Very few of these videos. So I don't want to watch them for the stream. At least not often. But maybe we'll see how it goes. Anyway, this is all just about, I just want to drink tea. I want to share the tea that I'm drinking with my friends. I want people to, I want to learn how to communicate my interest, really. So that's why this is happening. but things will improve slowly over time. I don't know what else to improve next. Um, Sound is definitely a major part. Video looks good because it's my old setup, so video and sound are probably going to be great. Like, figure out how to stream, I guess. Figure out how to look at chat. That might be an important thing. Um, maybe even scripting out what I'm going to talk about. Wow, wouldn't that be amazing? I like the idea, to be honest. I do like the idea. It's just a little bit of work, though. Just a little bit of pre-planning, which I don't do very often. All right, I'm drinking this tea, and it has like a licorice taste, really in the chest. Like it's really obvious in the chest, like in the below the esophagus. I can really just feel licorice and taste licorice. In the mouth, it's much more like almost rubber. There's gonna be like there's a point. Imagine there are two tastes. There's rubber and there's marshmallow. And in between the rubber and marshmallow is another taste. And that is similar to what I'm tasting. It's similar to what I'm tasting. I don't know if it's exactly, but similar to something that is between rubber and marshmallow. That is what I'm tasting right now. And it's quite delicious. Very smooth. Let me think of the mouth feel here. It has a feeling that I don't know how to describe yet. It comes along with a taste. There's a particular taste that comes along with this feeling, and they may be related, I don't know. But they come together often. So a part of the licorice is kind of a sensation, a feeling, a taste. Licorice is weird. This it has like a medicinal feel to it and a medicinal taste to it. Did I mention it had like a cherry taste? I guess that goes along with the licorice. So licorice, as in like actual licorice, but then like the cherry kind of like candy licorice addition, perhaps. So I'm thinking licorice, but it also has like a cherry medicine flavor, and these are all seemingly similar in some way. And all of that comes with a particular feeling in the tongue, on the tongue, in the mouth, and it's prickly. That is lovely. That is really lovely. So this is a toll, this is a pu'er. This is the tea that is like compressed into. It was compressed into like a little ball, like this ball. It was really like a mushroom shape, and I broke it open this Saturday. So kind of a freshly broken cake. It had been sealed, vacuum sealed for maybe a year until I broke it open, and it had been aged. It is aged from 2001, so 20 something years. I don't know what the ASMR is like here. I don't have again, I didn't really set up all of the stream stuff, so the vocal track is not really clean. I don't think. Well, I don't know. I didn't add all of the filters that might be common. All right, I'm already speaking a little. I'm speaking a lot, which is probably good for a stream, but I want to drink the tea faster. So it took a while for me to figure to set up everything in terms of I just needed to learn how to stream, like going to get stream keys and stream to multiple platforms. I didn't know how to do that. So I had to learn that. Then I had to move my table to this position, set up everything, got an injured shoulder moving my table around. So I took some time this morning, a little bit longer than necessary, or than expected, more so. And today I am going to my office for working, so I kind of need to stream, but I need to end the stream faster, which means I need to drink my tea faster. And I don't like drinking tea very quickly. I like to drink my tea very slowly. But I'm not telling you what I like right now. I'm telling you what the plan is for today, because I need to drink the tea faster so that I can be done with the tea and then go to work. That's what I want to do today. It's really the most lovely smell. It smells like an antique shop. Antique furniture, I mean. Quite an HT, so there's not much bitterness going on. No, I mean, I just, there's no bitterness going on. There is some active mouth feel. This sort of medicinal feel that I was mentioning before has a pleasant, it's like a prickliness. Did I say prickly before? It's like a prickliness to it. It's like a activity. It feels good in the mouth. There's movement. There's things happening, but it's not bitter. And I don't think there's any astringency either. And it also doesn't feel like there's a word I've been using. I've used it many times on this stream. I don't know if it's been understood, but I've used it. Trigeminal. I have recently, not well, maybe a couple of months ago. I don't know how long it's been. I've been watching some videos of wine sommeliers talking about wine, doing a wine competition. Wine sommelier competitions are amazing. I remember watching one like 6 years ago, and I watched one maybe 2 months ago. Fantastic. I've also recently been watching lectures from some California university in the 60s talking about wine and wine tasting science. I feel like there's a word for that that's not tasting science, but doing scientific testing to see if things are statistically significantly different when you make a difference in your beverage over large populations, that type of thing. And I like it a lot. And they talk about different types of tasting, and they talk about the parts of the taste buds and the tongue, and it's kind of cool stuff. And within all of this activity of learning all these things, I picked up the word trigeminal, meaning pain. It's like pain. It's a pain receptor in the tongue, trigeminal. And apparently a lot of wine has that. Some tea has it also. It's also related to spicy foods, Pequin foods, especially. Pequin meaning spicy as in the hot spicy. There's differences between the different types of spiciness. I don't know if there are other names for the other spicinesses. I'm not familiar with them. There are some spicinesses that are just flavors, of course. I don't know, ginger is spicy. It's not Pequin. Black pepper spicy. It's not Pequin. Anyway, there are different things that are spicy in Pequin, and there are distinctions to be made there. I don't know all the distinctions. I would like to know all the distinctions. I don't know all the distinctions, but one day I'll learn all the distinctions or make all the distinctions. I don't know. I'm just interested in these things because it helps me pay more attention and notice with greater resolution. I think that's the right word I want to use here. So I like beauty. There are certain things that I can learn, or I think learning is the right word. I can learn certain things to increase the scope of my beauty receptors. I got little beauty receptors, and I want to increase the scope of my beauty receptors so I can notice the beauty in more things, increasing the scope. But then I could also increase the resolution or the resolve. The resolution makes more sense if you understand resolution of a TV show or a movie or a video. Resolution. Higher resolution beauty. I can look at something and I can more clearly distinguish the edges and I don't know how to describe resolution. How would I describe resolution? Something with higher resolution? I don't know. But you understand the analogy because it's a very common. People know what resolution means in terms of visuals. I don't have to describe it more than just knowing what it means. You guys know what it means. It's cool to have a higher resolution and taste in any beauty reception, really, but taste. So that's why I might say words like trigeminal occasionally. I've also, since I've been learning about these things, this is why I'm talking more about my chest. Sometimes I'm just saying my chest, but really I'm talking about the esophagus and maybe the intestine. I don't really know how these things are connected and they work. They got the larynx and the pharynx, and you got the tongue and the mouth and all these things, and you got the the esophagus goes somewhere. I don't know if does the esophagus go directly to it goes to the stomach, right? And then the stomach goes to the intestines, and the intestines go to all these things are connected in some way. And apparently they all have taste buds. It's Yeah, you can just taste these things, especially with spicy foods. You got the trigeminal going through all the entire tract. This entire tract is called the alimentary tract, by the way. Alimentary. I also don't know if I'm pronouncing these things correctly or in the modern way. Of course, I've been listening to lectures from the 60s in California, and people from California in the 60s speak very differently than we speak currently in modern America, as if California from the 60s is not modern America. You get what I'm saying, though. In 2024, it's been 60 something years. They speak a little differently, so they say the words a little differently, and they say California. No one says California. The great California wines. So I might be pronouncing words a little bit differently than the modern pronunciation. Excuse me for that, I'm learning. This tea is great. My shoulder still hurts. There are a lot of movements that are happening that are hurting my shoulder, and I don't know what to do about that. My shoulder started hurting, so I went to exercise. Not maybe. I went to exercise Monday at noon. Monday noon, I went to exercise and I did a little bit of a lateral raise. I believe that's the name of the exercise where I'm doing a shoulder raise like this, like that. But both shoulders, this shoulder included, that movement would really hurt because I think that's the movement that hurt. And I did that movement on Monday at noon. Did it a couple times, and I didn't have any issues at noon on Monday. I didn't have any issues at the evening on Monday either. I didn't have any issues on noon on Tuesday. But in the evening of Tuesday evening, yesterday evening, last night, I started to have a little bit of a little bit of a tinge somewhere in my shoulder, and I started to do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. You know what I mean? Like just a little bit of like a little bit of that, a little bit of this, a little bit of a little touching, a little to, and then it started to hurt more. The little touching felt good, a little tiny massage. It actually just felt good a second ago, and doing that demonstration felt really nice. But then the pain started to grow, and by the time I went to bed, it was quite painful. And then I woke up, and then here we are. Today's Wednesday. So I would normally go to the gym today on Wednesday again at noon. Probably won't be doing that today at noon because my shoulder hurts. But we'll see. Okay, so talking a lot does change the experience quite a bit for the tea. I can, well, let me think about this. Okay, so I was excited before I started drinking the tea. So there's that. I'm excited just from streaming. I don't stream very often. I've recently began streaming because I want to communicate my interest to my friends, and I'm trying to improve that. And I'm using my old stream setup now because I needed to improve the sound. I thought the sound was bad with my phone, and now I'm streaming back in my old setup, and I'm using my old microphone and my old camera, and I like it actually. I like it a lot, and I used to stream a lot, and it was a lot of fun. So I'm getting a little bit of that energy. You get some energy stored into the old things that you used to do, you know? So there's that. I'm excited from that. And that is a little bit, and probably a lot of bit, I can't tell. It's taking a little bit away from the direct feeling of the tea affecting whatever it might affect within me, because I can't really tell. I can't tell what I'm I can't tell I can't tell what's happening from the tea, and I can't tell what's happening from the excitement of streaming. So two different excitements that might happen at the same time. And when these two things mix, I don't have the resolution, I don't have the resolve, I don't have the awareness to tell which one is which, happening to what, doing what effect. Either way, it's pleasant. So I'd like to figure out how to have a higher resolution and notice what's happening to what and why and where and why and how. So anyway, at the moment, I'm feeling very pleasant, and I'm starting to feel a nice rush in the body that is mostly the upper half of the body, and it feels like I am rising, rising from the ashes. It doesn't feel like I'm rising from the ashes. That is a riff, ridiculous riff. I mean, we're just it feels like an energy that is going upwards, or maybe it's the energy going upwards, or me going downwards. I don't know how that. It feels like acceleration in the upwards direction, or maybe the downwards direction. I can't. I don't. I don't know how to describe that. Anyway, there's an energy. There's a feeling that is going upwards through the head, and it feels very pleasant. I'm fairly sure it's from the tea, not from the excitement of streaming. But there is an intermixing of all these things, and I'm sure there are other things that may have happened from the tea alone if I were paying attention to the tea alone. But I'm not paying attention to the tea alone. I am speaking to you today, right now, on the stream, which has been happening for some time, and I am remembering that I need to stream faster, and I've been talking a lot and talking and streaming are antithetical to drinking and finishing the tea. This is a really lovely tea. So probably not a good tea to try to use to drink if I want to drink tea quickly. You know, it would have been nice. Here's a good idea. This is for me to think about for future. If I ever want to dream, if I want to stream, if I want a short stream, I can drink green tea. But here I'm drinking an aged pu'er tea that is freshly opened and is new to me. It's a new tea. I've not had this tea many times. I had it once on Saturday, and I'm having it once today on Wednesday, and I'm liking it quite a lot, which is making me also want to slow down and drink it slower, pay more attention to these things. I could just drink a green tea next time. Green tea, not that it'd be any different from the familiarity standpoint. I don't drink a lot of green tea, but if I drank green tea, it would have fewer steeps that are very pleasant. I don't know if that's interesting or if it's see. I feel like, well, I don't know. I don't know who's watching the stream, so I'm going to be describing things for people who are not knowing a lot about tea, and because I'm going to be describing things to people who don't know about tea. Remember, I said something about diction not being very good. Okay, so I'm describing. I would like to describe things for people who do not know a lot about tea, so that they become um, at least somewhat familiar with some things about tea. So, for example, I just mentioned something about green tea, and I'm talking about pu'er, and I can just explain those things. So, with green tea, generally, you might get 3 or 4 good steeps out of green tea. With tea, I'm making multiple steeps. I don't know how basic I need to get here. So, I'm drinking this tea. Oh, it smells delicious. It smells like an antique furniture shop in a good way, with like some type of wood, maybe cedar. I don't know, maybe some other incense going on, something like that. It's a very dense antique store. I'm getting off track here. I drink tea. I use a lot of leaves. That doesn't matter. I'm drinking tea and I steep it multiple times. That's what matters. I steep it multiple times. Pour water into it, pour it out, drink it. Pour more water into it, pour it out, drink it. Pour more water into it, pour it out, drink it. With green tea, you would probably only be able to do that 3 or 4 times before the water that comes out or the liquid that comes out the tea that comes out the tea is not very pleasant to drink. It might become very sharp. It might become very weak in terms of the flavors, except for that sharpness. That's kind of weird. The mouthfeel is not very pleasant. It's not as round. It's not as smooth to swallow. That type of stuff might happen after four. Going into the fifth and sixth steep, it becomes more pronounced, the sharpness and the unpleasant flavor. Maybe, perhaps, possibly, usually. For green teas, fewer steeps before he kind of transitions into unpleasant. For this pu'er tea that I'm drinking pu'er tea. For pu'er tea, it changes a little bit into that. The relevant difference for pu'er tea is that I might be able to steep it 8 or 9 times before it even loses a lot of flavor. And it may still be very pleasant and round and soft and easy to swallow. And it just has like a kind of a vague, hazy sweetness to it. And there's just like this gentle, comforting sensation without much flavor, but it's still very pleasant to drink. So I can just keep drinking it. So that's what the pu'er teas, especially aged pu'er teas. Um, might give me. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I'm wanting to have a short stream today, and because of the short stream, I want to drink less tea or fewer steeps, and that might be good for green tea. And in the future, I might remember that and do that. I don't remember how I used to drink when I streamed. I don't know if I was liberal with the slurps or not. When I drink alone, I do slurp quite a bit, and I usually don't slurp as much when I drink tea with my friends. I have friends over pretty often for tea. Usually don't slurp. And I think I haven't slurped while streaming. I definitely haven't slurped while streaming recently. And I don't know if I did when I was streaming years ago. All that to say is that I'm about to slurp. Slurp warning. Slurp warnings. Wee hoo, slurp warning. I'm about to slurp this tea. Slurping is very nice for tea. You agitate a little bit. You add a little bit of aeration into the tea, and a lot of the flavor, a lot of the taste that you get from beverages or from foods, from anything really, it's not really the touching of the thing onto the tongue or the mouth. That is a part of a flavor, but it's not really the major part of the flavor. So there are multiple sensations that happen. The first sensation is that taste, which are the five tastes: salty, sweet, bitter, umami, sour. Those things, taste buds on the tongue, you put it on your tongue, you taste that. You get it in your mouth too, you also get it in your esophagus, you get it in the whole alimentary tract. You also get a little bit of the trigeminal effect, which is just a pain. Possible thing you could just get from touching the tongue. But then there's this whole other world, which are essentially smells. And they occur because your nose can smell in your mouth. There's like a pathway from your nose to your mouth. And a lot of the mechanical effects from chewing, for example, release smells in your mouth that you can get into your nose from your mouth. And if you drink tea and you slosh it around in your mouth, you get a lot more. That mechanical force makes it agitates the tea, and it makes it more volatile, so you can smell the parts of the tea. And then the same thing happens if you aerate the tea by slurping it. You get more flavors out, different flavors out. Maybe not, well, definitely more flavors, but different flavors also. Maybe not more of the same flavor. So it's very pleasant. Well, that's why I might slurp a tea, and that's why I'm about to slurp this tea right now. Great. More of the same flavor. Now it's getting a little bitter. Oh, it's just like the best kind of bitter too. It's got movement. It's got dynamicism. Is that word pronounced correctly? Dynamicism. It's got dynamic motion. I'm it's drinking, it's smooth, and then after the smoothness, there's like a surge of the bitterness, and then the bitterness kind of dissipates and moves. The best kind of bitterness. It's got motion. It adds vitality to the tea experience. I went to a nice restaurant with my brother recently, Saturday, after watching this movie. So I watched this amazing movie called Megalopolis. Fantastic. There is a circus scene. There's also a singing portion where there was like it was like a music video. It was kind of weird. It wasn't like a music video. It was like a live performance. It was a live performance. It's a video, it's a movie of a live performance, but the live performance was like high technology or magic or something like that. It was strange. Very good. Love to see it. It's like futuristic art, which is something that I like a lot. I like the idea of what art could be. Anyway, that's not that's not the important thing that I'm saying at the moment. What I'm saying is that I went to a restaurant with my brother after going seeing this movie. It was a great movie, and I liked it, and I recommend it. You probably won't like it. It seems like a lot of people haven't liked it. I watched a lot of videos online about people not liking it. Reviews have been very bad. No one liked this movie. I'm the only person in the entire world who liked this movie. Me and the director, we liked this movie. No one else did. It's a great movie. Anyhow, after this movie, I went to go to a restaurant with my brother. It was a restaurant in Atlanta. It's called Little Bear. It was a very nice restaurant. They've got fancy food, and a lot of the food had uh, fermented spices. Fermented spices. Is that the right way of putting it? It's like pickled ginger and other things that are similar to that. Spices that were pickled. And also, I'm pretty sure pickled jalapeno or, a Pequin spice. Pickled and Pequin. Pickled and Pequin. It was a very nice experience because a lot of the foods had that pickledness and a lot of food had the Pequinness. So, spicy foods. And that it had this like, it had this wideness to it. Like, for example, there was, there was I believe it was a not roasted, it was roast goat. I might have to look at the menu for this. I'm not going to look at the menu, but I'm just going to go from memory. I think it was roast goat, and it had some type of gelatin on it, and it had some type of pickled spice, and it had peppers, like hot peppers. And the flavor was just so wide because the pickledness had this like sharpness that was really high. The spiciness just kind of had this like, you know what spiciness is like. It really like made the whole mouth be active in the experience. Like you usually taste, for me, maybe it's just me, I'm usually eating things and I'm like, yeah, my mouth is a part of the experience, but it's kind of like a secondary kind of part of the experience. It's not really the main part of the show. Even though I'm chewing, it's a major part of the experience, but it doesn't really get a lot of the focus. But then when you get the spiciness, the feeling of the mouth is just really there. You get it all around, and you get the whole like, you like this like a brightening of the whole room. It's like I don't know how to describe it. It was really nice. And then on top of that, you got the goat, whatever the goat stuff was. And it was really savory. It was really like dense and savory, so it had this like kind of lower feeling of it, kind of saltiness going on. And then there was some fruitiness. I think there was some fruit in it. I don't remember the fruit. It was nice. It's called Little Bear, Atlanta, Georgia. You see, I do recommend that movie, but I'm sure you wouldn't like it. Most people wouldn't like it. It wasn't a very good movie, not very good reviews. But this restaurant that I went after the movie, this restaurant was very good, and I'm sure you would like it because it has good reviews. It was recently Michelin recommended, I believe, or I don't know how Michelin works, the tire company with the food things. Maybe you don't know. There's a tire company called Michelin, and they do food reviews. They do TikTok reviews. That's not accurate. They don't do TikTok reviews. They do they do food reviews. It's not actually food reviews. They do restaurant reviews. So Michelin, a tire company, does restaurant reviews, and they're highly prestigious restaurant reviews. Is that the right word to use? I don't know if that's the right word to use. Highly prestigious restaurant reviews that people respect. People like me and people like you, if I'm communicating well enough. I'm sure not. Anyway, they have reviews of restaurants that are very nice, and if you go to the restaurants that they review, they're generally good. So I went to a restaurant called Little Bear, and they have been reviewed by Michelin. And in that review, they got it wasn't an actual. I don't think it was a rating. I don't think they got a rating. There are three ratings. There are three ratings: one, two, or three stars. I don't think they got a star. No, I'm sure they did not get a star. But I don't know what the thing they got was because there are the stars, the three things that are stars, and then there's like a Michelin recommended, which is also very good, and then there's like other categories that are also very very good. All the categories are good. If Michelin even mentions you, you're fantastic. Anyway, it was a good restaurant. I am beginning to feel a bit more hazy. By I mean the body feels like it's disappearing. It's like it's like vanishing. It's like quickly. Now you see me, now you don't kind of thing. It feels like that. And it's past the time. I need to not be streaming now. I need to be preparing to get ready for work. So I'm gonna be stopping the stream. Though there's more tea to be had. Clearly, I'm drinking more here. But this has got to stop. This has got to stop. I want to finish the stream so that I can go to work and then finish my work stuff that I need to finish and do stuff working things, and then I'll be streaming another time. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe not tomorrow. Maybe Sunday. Maybe not Sunday. Maybe Tuesday. Most likely would be Tuesday and Thursday. Tuesday and Thursday would be the dates to be most likely doing these things. And because I have a little bit of extra time, I go to work on Monday and Wednesday. I guess I could also do it on Friday. I didn't think about that. I could do Friday also. Anyway, I don't know. I'm not going to be scheduling these streams. It'll just be happening sometimes. So that'll happen sometime. I had a lot of fun. I want to do it again, so I will do it again. And hopefully you enjoyed also. Again, I will improve at some other point because I'm going to be trying to uh, communicate my interests a little bit better. So that's it. Guys, have fun. Go drink some tea.